Right. So you think you know the Rolling Stones, stadiums, screaming fans, a lifetime supply of swagger? Think again. These days, the only thing they're rolling is a very specific kind of ledger. Turns out, rock and roll doesn't pay the bills forever, especially when you've got a taste for the finer things and a knack for forgetting where you put your royalties. So, they diversified. Debt collection. But not just any debt. They specialize in the kind of debts only the music industry could conjure. Unpaid session fees, missing master tapes, the occasional vintage guitar that vanished after a particularly rowdy after-party. It's a niche market, but someone's got to do it. Mick handles the charm, the disarming smile that hides a steel trap mind. Keith handles the persuasion. A certain glint in his eye that suggests he's seen worse than your unpaid invoice. Our story kicks off with a particularly juicy one. A legendary unreleased album from the Screaming Banshees, a rival band from back in the day. Think of them as the Stones' slightly less successful, more volatile cousins. The master tape, supposedly lost in a fire, was actually collateral for a loan. A very large loan taken out by their notoriously flaky frontman, Mad Dog Malone, just before he vanished. The debt's now due, and the creditor, a shadowy figure known only as the collector, wants his property, or failing that, a very substantial sum of cash. The Stones were hired to retrieve the tape. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the principle, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to finally hear what the Banshees were really capable of. Their first stop was a dusty, forgotten recording studio, smelling faintly of stale beer and shattered dreams. The owner, a grizzled sound engineer named Fingers Malone, Mad Dog's estranged brother, claimed ignorance. Tape? What tape? Mad Dog was always losing things. His mind, mostly. But Mick noticed the nervous twitch in Fingers' left eye, a telltale sign. Keith just leaned against a stack of amplifiers, humming a forgotten Banshees riff. Next, they tracked down a former roadie, now running a dodgy memorabilia shop. He remembered Mad Dog talking about a secret vault, a place where he kept his most prized possessions. He also mentioned a cryptic tattoo Mad Dog had gotten. The tattoo, a series of musical notes, seemed to be the key. But what did it mean? And where was this vault? The notes, it turned out, weren't a melody. They were coordinates. Coordinates to a derelict lighthouse on a remote stretch of coastline. A place Mad Dog used to frequent, a place where he claimed to find inspiration. Inside, the air was thick with salt and silence. No vault. Just a single, dusty turntable and a stack of old vinyl. Mick picked up a record, a rare bootleg of a Banshees live show. As he turned it over, he noticed something. A faint, almost invisible inscription on the inner sleeve. The real treasure is in the silence. Keith, ever the pragmatist, just grunted. Sounds like something a Mad Dog would say. Then it hit Mick. The silence, the unplayed grooves. The master tape wasn't hidden in the lighthouse. It was the lighthouse. The lighthouse itself was a giant, elaborate, custom-built record player. The light beam was the needle, the rotating mechanism, the platter. And the master tape? It was etched into the very structure of the lighthouse, a massive, playable vinyl record. Mad Dog Malone, in his final act of artistic defiance, had turned his greatest work into an unplayable monument. A masterpiece designed to be seen, not heard. A final grand gesture to the collector and the industry he despised. The Stones, of course, couldn't collect a lighthouse, but they had solved the mystery. And in doing so, they'd uncovered a twist even they hadn't anticipated. Some debts, it seems, are paid in art, not cash. And sometimes, the greatest rock and roll mystery is the one you can't hear.